In this video, we are going to talk about how to use Azure App Configuration on .NET Core application. Okay, so before diving to the demo, let's understand what is app configuration and why we should use it. Okay, so let's take an example. You have a Web API 1, Web API 2, and function app and console application. You have four different applications, and you want to keep the connection part. Okay, it can be a connection string or it can be a configuration details. Okay, so you want to keep the configuration details. So what ideally we'll do that each application level we will have app settings. There we will put our connection strings or configuration details. Okay. Let's take an example. You are growing that application. Right now is a four application, and each will have one copy. Let's think like let's keep this application, keep growing it, and you have more application, and each places you want to keep the same kind of configuration details. Let's take an example. You want to change the one configuration details. Now, what we'll do, each application will go and keep changing it, right? And it will make error as well. So instead of doing this all the places, let's put it as centralized places and just use that centralized data for all four application. That is where the app configuration come into the picture. Okay, let's comes to here. Azure App Configuration. Let's think like this is an Azure App Configuration. You are putting your configuration data. It can be a connection string. It can be an endpoint. It can be a URL. Whatever you want, you put it here, and you can integrate that one Web API 1, Web API 2, function app, console application. In case future some other application comes, you can keep integrated. And in case if you want to change any kind of URL details, you can go and say change in the one particular place itself. Okay, I hope it cleared this point. Now let's understand how do you create an app configuration in our Microsoft Azure. Okay, click on Azure App Configuration, click on the create button and create a resource group. Now I will do that. I'm giving a name for it. You can give any name and select the location. I'm giving South India and just asking the resource name. I'm giving learning Azure App Configuration. Okay. Uh, okay, already is there. So let's give us a config. Okay. And the pricing tier, you can choose any tier. Right now I'm going with a free tier. And if you have more information about what tier you have to choose it, you can see the features and codes. Based on that, you can choose it. Okay. Now I'm good with the free tier. I will select it. I will click on review and create and click on create. So it will take few seconds. Let's wait for it. So until this deployment process complete, let's create an application for it. So let's go here. I will select the web API. ASP.NET Web API, and I will give the name as learning Azure. Azure App Config API, and the solution name. I will give that API, and here I will use a solution. You can give any name. Just I'm giving it. I'm using .NET Core 8, and I'm using use controller. I'm clicking on create. Okay, the application got created. Let's click on save. So it's just a simple application. Nothing is here. Okay. Let's move to our Microsoft Azure. I think deployment is completed. Go to the resource. Okay. So first, you have a lot of options here. So first, go to the operations and you have a configuration explorer. Click on this one. And when you click on this one, you have create a key value and create key value reference. Let's use a create key value. And it's going to store as a key and values. Okay, let's take an example like you want to store its key is nothing but a name and value is just on a value for it. Okay, now what we'll do, I just want to store some details and let's see how it works it. Okay, let's take an example like mm, I will give the Cosmos connection string and I just use a dummy URL or um, connection string from Azure App. Let's use a key like that. Okay. Okay. I will use name as a key and the value from Azure App Config. Click on apply. You can apply labels. We will talk about later. So now just click on apply. Okay. So now we successfully create a Azure App configuration and we add a key value pair. Now, how do you consume in our .NET Core application? For that, let's go here to our Visual Studio. We have to install the package. Right click, go to the manage package and browse. Here, select for Azure App Configuration. Type for Azure App Configuration. You see this Microsoft.azure.app configuration.asp.NET Core. Click on and just install it. Okay, it's done. Let's save all, close it. Now, go to the program.cs class. Now, what I have to do, builder.configuration dot add Azure App Configuration and give the connection string for this one. Okay. So how do you get the connection string? Go to the Azure App Configuration, click on the settings, access setting. You can say the connection string. Copy this one. Right now we'll hard code it. Let's use a string, connection string. Okay. And let's post it here. Okay. So this is done. Now I want to access that in my controller. Let's go to here. We have a controller. Let's add a dependent injection for this one using I configuration. Configuration. Okay, done. Let's use here string. What is the name we given it? Key. Okay, key value something. I will give the name and configuration dot get value of string of key. Okay. Now let's see that. Let's see. Let's save it and put a breakpoint here. Run the application. Click on the execute. Okay, the value is coming in. Now we understood how to integrate the app configuration. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's take an example. When you're creating key value pair, we didn't use a label. Now let's use a label. So for example here, I have created some dummy URL here. So let's take in a company URI. Okay, company URI. This is the URL for this one. Let's put it here. Okay, now this I want to call only in the development. Okay, so if I want to, its label is nothing but grouping of things, or you can use it for environment specific also. So here I'm using on a development like that. Okay, so development environment, this take this company like this. Okay, and apply it. And now again I will create a key value. The same I will give you company URI. Okay. Now let's think another production. It will be it will not the same URI, but let's take like I will give fake JSON dot API hyphen plot. Okay. Plus in a production level URI. Okay. So let's give us a production. Click and apply. Okay. Now let's try to call this in our application. String company URI equal to configuration dot get value of string. Okay. Done. Let's run it. Okay. So its company URI is null still. Okay. Let's fix this issue first. Okay. Let's stop it. I will give the proper name. Go to the program.cs class. So right now, when you use at a URL endpoint, what will happen it when you apply the label with whatever things without label is at that value only bring it. If you want to bring the label value, then we have other option builder dot configuration dot add Azure App Configuration. We have a second overload. We have used the first overload version for this one. We have a second overload version which is taking action of Azure App Configuration option. So this is a delegate, action delegate. So let's use it. So I will give the options such that open it and close it. None. Options dot we have a connect method. So here it's looking for a connection string, or you can give the list of connection, or you can use a URI or token credential as well. So first we will go with a normal connection string. Okay, so let's use a connection string. Once you've done it, we have a select method. So the select method says what are the configuration detail you want to select it. Okay. So here I'm going to use a filter here. Here, if you look at it, will look for a filter, key filter. Okay. Now, mhm, key filter dot any, and I'm saying it. You can provide any label if you want to filter. I'm saying it. Whatever is there without label, bring it. Okay. Now, second one, I'm going to say key filter dot any, but I want to filter, I want to bring the value which is having the label value. So it's a development. So here I can use a development, use it here. Now I done it. Now let's run the application. Okay, you're getting key value. Yes, company here it's coming properly. You can see the fake.json, it's not coming a prod one. Okay, now what we'll do that every time we cannot give the hard-coded value, we can use the environment variables. Here we have builder.configuration dot environment, sorry, builder dot environment dot environment name. So we can use it. This environment name where it's derived from means it's your variable. So here if you go to here, launch settings.json, the Azure environment is the development we set it. So automatically that value will pick it here. So it will pick the label as a development. This URL will be get written it here. Okay. Now I hope it's clear now. Now let's take an example like whenever make the changes, before that, let's add here as a key. Let's add this one to property string configuration key string company URI. Okay. Let's assign this value so no need to debug it every time. We can see in the result. Okay, export it. Here's configuration key equal to key value, company URL equal to company URL. Okay, now we finished it. Remove the debugger point. Now let's run it. Okay, now let's click on this one, try it out, execute. So you can see the configuration values, everything coming properly. Sorry. Let's do one thing. Right now, I will go and change this value from here, auth configuration, modify it, and click on apply. Okay. Now, you keep executing this one. How many times execute other still that affected value will not come here. Okay. So how do you solve this issue? For that, we have a sentinel key refresh. What is a sentinel key? So here is there. So this is called as an 1 minute. I think there is a bit soon. I will zoom out. Okay. So here we have called dynamic refresh. This is called, and it is use the poll model. So poll model means whenever the changes comes, it will particular period of time. For example, the by default the configuration will be stored, and we will clear the cache. Now after the clearing the cache, the next request comes. It will go and call the Azure App Config, fetch that new configuration details, and just assign to it. Okay. Now you can read it about this how Sentinel key works, but Sentinel key is used for refresh purpose. Okay, and by default whenever make any changes, for example here I just updated the key value for this particular key. Now what will happen, by default it will take 30 seconds. After 30 seconds only that refresh will happen. Okay, now let's how to implement the sentinel key refresh. Okay, let me close this one. Let's go here. First thing we can do it here, we have to register as a refresh, like configure refresh. And here also it's taking an action delegate. Now I will use a refresh option such that automatic calibration refresh options dot sorry, register. And here you have to mention what is the key you are going to use it and how you want to refresh it. Okay. Now what I'm going to say it, whenever I use a new keyboard, I want a full refresh. That I'm making as a true and I'm saving it. Now, what is the key I want it now? I'm going to create a new key, but we can use existing key, but that is not an ideal way of doing it. So people are used to Sentinel like this, but it's not mandatory you should use a Sentinel key like this. I'm going to use app configuration refresh key. App configuration refresh key. Okay, and I'm setting a zero value here and click OK. Okay, it's done right now. Now I will copy this key, come here, I will paste it here. Okay, once it's done, now comes to the services level, we have to add one service, builder.services dot add Azure app configuration. That's it. And the middleware level, I'm going to use app.use Azure app configuration. That's it. These two changes is done. Now let's run it. Okay. Now let's run. Okay, it's modified values coming properly. Now what I will do it, I will go to the key and I will modify the key from Azure app configuration and apply, and we have to make the sentinel key as well. Just make it as a 1. You can give any value, so I'm making as a 1 and click on save. So it will take the by default 30 seconds to get refresh. Now let's try this one, what is happening it. So still it's using that old value. See, now it got changed. Key from the Azure app configuration. The value got changed. Okay. Now it's not mandatory you should wait for 30 seconds. If you want to override that one, we can override it. Now what we can do it here, previously used to use a set cache expiration. So this is a deprecated right now. So instead of that, they're asking to use a set refresh interval. But if you go to the official document, they're still saying it set cache expiration, but that is a deprecated right now. You can use it. The refresh interval time. Okay, so this set refresh interval doesn't mean it will call your API in a period of time. No, it will not doing it actually. So what happens? A particular period of time is just clearing the cache. Then when the new request comes, then it goes and hits the server and get the data. Okay. Now time span dot from seconds. I'm just making 1 second every 1 second. Just do this one. Okay. Now I will rerun it. Let's click on this one. So initially this value is correct. Now let's go here, updated, and I will make this company URI as well. For example, big dictionary dev dev, save it, and let's make this as well as a 2. Click on apply. Okay, we done it. So everything reflecting it. Now go, we hit on execute. So still is a old. Now let's try it. It's updated coming properly, and you can see the dev also is coming in. So this is a way we can do this one. Okay, you can see this connection string is some hard coded, but this is not a idle practice. So what we can do it, we will move this one to the development.json file. Okay, so I'm moving to the environment specific. So what I will do it, sorry, I'll move to the connection string, take here and put it into the connection string section. I will give name later. Just paste it here. Now, what is the name we given? Connection string. So let's give us a name for it as Azure App Connection string. Okay, let's close this one. So now how you can use a builder dot configuration dot get connection string. Here you can use the name of it. Okay, so this is not required. Let's remove this one. Okay, let's test this one. Rerun it. Okay, the application is working as expected. Now, do you think this is the right way of doing it? Because the connection string contains your endpoint as well as secret. In case this someone use this secret and get this connection string, they can do any kind of operation. So, is it right approach to do this one? The best practice is not a right way to do that. So we have to use the managed identity or system assigned identity. So about that, we will see in the next video, and we will explain what is a managed identity or user assigned identity and how to use it, when to use that one. Okay. And thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.